Back again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're gonna react to 10 injuries that ruined WWE pay-per-view plans. Right as I was recording this video in the beginning, it crashed, so we gotta restart it. It crashed and I only heard about 10-15 seconds of the video, so we'll just skip to about 5 seconds. So yeah, we're gonna react to 10 injuries that ruined WWE pay-per-view plans. Let's get right into the video.
Toward what's planned for the pay-per-view. And it's all well and good for WWE Creative to map out their order-only events and announce matches for the paying public. But best laid creative plans can quickly come undone when a WWE star goes down with an injury at an inopportune time. I'm Sam Driver from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 injuries that ruined WWE pay-per-views. Join us. Number 10, Bret Hart, King of the Ring 1997. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were supposed to clash over the WWE title in the main event of WrestleMania 13, 1 year after the Heartbreak Kid had beaten the Hitman for the gold in their historic Iron Man.
Wait. Is he about to talk about 1998 injury? Or nah, he's probably something earlier than that. Let's see what he's talking about.
Michaels had to pull out of the match, however, due to a severe case of lost smile. But after HBK had located his lips, WWE booked the match for the King of the Ring pay-per-view. Bret challenged Shawn to the match on the May 19th episode of Raw, claiming that he would never wrestle in America again if he couldn't defeat his foe in less than 10 minutes. HBK agreed on the condition that the other members of the Hart Foundation would be handcuffed to the ring posts to prevent them from interfering. Wow, such high stakes and such a unique stipulation. I wonder what could possibly ruin this. Besides the simmering tension between Hart and Michaels, not helped by Shawn's infamous Sunny Days comment.
Okay, so this is when Bret Hart was a heel.
The fact remained that Bret was not yet recovered from knee surgery and wouldn't be able to compete as planned. WWE wrote him out of the match, and he was...
This is probably right after the Stone Cold and Bret Hart rivalry.
Replaced by Steve Austin. As far as replacements go, I've heard of far worse. Here's looking at you, Savio Vega. Number 9, Ahmed Johnson, In Your House Canadian Stampede. King of the Ring 97 ended not with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, or Steve Austin, but with The Undertaker retaining his WWE title against Farouk in an utterly pants main event. At least the pay-per-view itself ended with an intriguing angle, as Ahmed Johnson dropped the dead man with a Pearl River plunge before the King of the Ring went off the air. That set Ahmed up nicely as Taker's next challenger, with the WWE title match made for the Canadian Stampede installment of In Your House. But if there was one thing you could set your watch to back then, it was Ahmed Johnson sustaining injury. And sure enough, 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, the Pearl River powerhouse knackered his knee during a brawl on Raw. The bad news was that Ahmed wouldn't be able to wrestle The Undertaker for the WWE title as scheduled.
Okay, so what you're saying is that would have had been taken place. Undertaker versus Ahmed Johnson. Okay.
Good news was Vader would be drafted in as his replacement. I mean, not having to watch an Ahmed Johnson match isn't...
Yeah, that sucks. Getting injured, getting replaced out of a world WWE, WWF world title match, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, man, that's not good.
Exactly bad news, but you get where I'm coming from, right? In later years...
I need to stop saying WWF, because that's not what it's called anymore. It's called WWE.
Johnson expressed his belief that WWE were going to have him beat Taker for the title. Sure they were. Number 8, John Cena, No Mercy 2007. Heading into No Mercy 2007, John Cena was enjoying a long and fruitful reign as WWE Champion, having held the belt since winning it from Edge in a TLC match at Unforgiven over a year prior. At No Mercy, Cena was due to defend the strap against Randy Orton in a rematch from SummerSlam. But on the go-home edition of Raw, Big Match John suffered a torn pec while executing a simple hip toss on Mr. Kennedy. WWE knew it was serious, and there was no...
I remember this video package, the Don't Try This at Home. He was holding his arm like that. Yeah, I remember that. But it was a torn pect or something, pectoral or something. I think that's what it's called.
way that Cena, superhuman though he seems to be, would be able to
It's like a certain type of muscle in like the arm, shoulder up here, I guess.
wrestle at the pay-per-view. The title was officially vacated on ECW a day later, ending Cena's title reign at 380 days. Now there was the question of what to do about the WWE title, since the creative plans for No Mercy needed to be torn up just days before it was due to go ahead. With Cena out of the picture, WWE concocted a night-long storyline that saw Mr. McMahon give the title to Orton, only to have him lose it to Triple H, who then defended it against Umaga, only to lose it back to the Legend Killer in the main event. Number 7, Triple H, WrestleMania 23. I'm sure the cerebral assassin had some sympathy for Cena's plight, having not long returned from his own injury layoff, which had resulted in WWE changing the creative for the WrestleMania 23 main event. Triple H was originally planned as John Cena's Mania opponent in what would have been a rematch from 22's main event. But while teaming with Shawn Michaels against Rated RKO at New Year's Revolution 2007, the game tore his quad, the other one, while attempting a...
Dang. All I really remember is his first quad injury back in 02 or 03. And yeah.
Spinebuster on Randy Orton. True to form, he gutted it out and finished the match, but it was obvious he would miss significant ring time and was ruled out of the granddaddy of them all. WWE didn't have to look far for a suitable plan B, as Hunter's DX pal was ready and willing to step in and square off against Cena in Michigan. Of course...
Oh, so he replaced him. Okay, that makes sense.
This also meant a change in plans for the showstopper, who was rumored to be Donald Trump's pick to go up against Booker T in the Battle of the Billionaires. Orton Backlash 2016. In the main event of SummerSlam 2016, Randy Orton got well and truly Brock Lesnar, as he was beaten to a pulp by the Beast Incarnate and left lying in a puddle of his own blood. Considering the drubbing he'd received at...
Yeah, they had to remove the blood because they had blanked it out, I think, right? I don't know. They don't blank out blood anymore?
Orton got well and truly Brock Lesnar, as he was beaten to a pulp by the Beast Incarnate and left lying in a puddle of his own blood. Considering the drubbing he'd received at the show, it seemed somewhat ambitious WWE would book the Viper against Bray Wyatt at Backlash 3 weeks later. Orton had accepted the match on SmackDown, and WWE continued to advertise it up until the night when they ran an angle that saw Bray take out Randy backstage, rendering him unable to compete. Wyatt instead wrestled Kane at Backlash in a no-holds-barred match, which ended when Orton ran in and hit the Eater of Worlds with an RKO. Reports after the show suggested that while Randy had passed some initial impact tests, WWE's medical staff were not comfortable with him performing due to the risk of worsening his concussion, though he was permitted to hit his finish. He returned to action soon after, and the match with Bray went ahead at No Mercy instead. Number 5, Liv Morgan Evolution 2025.
The Evolution pay-per-view is about to come back up.
Fans and WWE stars alike were thrilled when the company announced Evolution 2025, the all-female follow-up to 2018's very well-received pay-per-view. Naturally, it was presumed that Liv Morgan would be heavily involved in proceedings, giving her incredible popularity and status as one half of the women's tag champions. And when Liv confronted and attacked the returning Nikki Bella on the June 9th episode of Raw, it looked like a marquee match had been set up for the show on July 13th. Subsequent reports claimed that Nikki's twin sister Brie was potentially on her way in too, with the Bella twins challenging Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the tag titles a distinct possibility. All of that was thrown out of the window, however, when Liv suffered a shoulder injury during the early stages of her match with Kairi Sane on the June 16th edition of Raw. It looked innocuous enough, coming from a simple front bump, but it was then reported that Morgan required surgery, ruling her out of not just Evolution, but potentially out of the ring for the next 6 months. Number 4,
And I think that was like her most recent injury. I wasn't paying attention that well because I'm over here fixing my headphones. She's been having some injuries. Plenty.
Great American Bash 2006. Clearly, some shows are just cursed. And Great American Bash certainly falls into that category, with numerous ailments and injuries ravaging a card that ended up looking very different from what had been advertised. No less than three of the scheduled performers were withdrawn from the show due to elevated liver enzymes, with WWE fearing a possible hepatitis outbreak. Bobby Lashley had been scheduled to take on WWE United States champion Finlay. Super Crazy was due to challenge Cruiserweight champion Gregory Helms, but he was benched in favor of...
Were they supposed to get like a vaccine for something? Come on, man. I think it's hepatitis. I think that's like some type of shot you gotta get.
Matt Hardy, with the match changed to a non-title affair. The Great Khali was yanked from his Punjabi prison match, with Big Show taking his place. And then there was Mark Henry, who was due to clash with Batista in a grudge match. Regrettably, the world's strongest man ruptured his patella tendon on Saturday night's main event the week prior, resulting in Ken Kennedy filling in. Cursed, cursed, cursed. Number 3, CM Punk TLC 2012. We might look at Ryback these days and think you're that mental maniac who talks a load of bollocks and booked his own retirement by Twitter poll, aren't you? But make no mistake about it, the big guy was over for a minute there. So over that after wrestling WWE champion CM Punk in the main event of Hell in a Cell, and then in a triple threat match, also including John Cena at Survivor Series, Ryback was booked against the straight edge superstar in a...
Yeah, he definitely was over. Because they were pushing him, and then after the Cena rivalry and all that, like he did his thing with Mark Henry, but he didn't beat him. Like he started losing matches later on, and they kind of like didn't build his momentum, because you know they had him with the rivalry, the payback, Ryback Rules gimmick, and then they teamed him up with Curtis Axel, and then that was really it. But
C match at the same titled pay-per-view. But as over as he was, Ryback was also clumsy as a mother, and after being sloppily slammed through a table by him on Raw, Punk had to undergo surgery to repair a partially torn meniscus. That took him out of the TLC main event and led to WWE instead booking Ryback to team with Hell No against The Shield, in a match that turned out to be an absolute belter, to be fair. Don't feel bad for Pepsi Phil, though. He still got his TLC match with Ryback on the January 7th, 2013 episode of Raw, and I bet he just loved that. Number 2, Bayley, Money in the Bank 2021. There's an argument to be made that Bayley was WWE's MVP during the pandemic era. Granted, it was one of the worst eras ever, and not just with regards to wrestling, but watching the Hugger create magic on SmackDown was one of the rare highlights of a dismal time. As the world was coming out of lockdown and WWE were hitting the road, I'm sure Bayley felt ready to do her thing in front of full crowds. But fate had other ideas. Money in the Bank was going to be the company's first pay-per-view with a full crowd in almost 18 months, and Bayley was scheduled for a big
I can say, though, it is really important. Stretching before a match, wrestling match, any sport you play, stretch. Sometimes it's beneficial, or it can benefit, and then sometimes no. But it can help to prevent injuries sometimes.
Quick match, challenging Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. Sadly, Bayley suffered a serious knee injury while training at the Performance Center and was forced to undergo surgery. She was replaced by Carmella, but WWE opted to move the match from the pay-per-view to the go-home edition of SmackDown instead. Meanwhile, the tag match between AJ Styles and Omos and the Viking Raiders was moved from the July 12th edition of Raw to fill the gap at Money in the Bank. And number 1, Becky Lynch, Survivor Series 20.
Is this when her face was bleeding? Or, I don't know, maybe.
2018. Look, we can all agree the whole battle for brand supremacy concept was weak sauce and, frankly, done to death. But the Raw vs. SmackDown theme at Survivor Series did, at least, result in some genuinely great matches.
It was either her face or her nose.
Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey could have added to that legacy in 2018 with the Red and Blue Women's Champions set to do battle. For brand supremacy, of course. The match wouldn't happen, and still hasn't happened, and probably never will, after Nia Jax decided to rearrange Becky's face during the interbrand brawl on the November 12th edition of Raw. Jax rocked Lynch with a stiff punch to the face, giving her a legitimate broken nose to go along with a severe concussion. It also gave her that amazing close-up shot, which arguably did more for the man than any match with Rowdy Ronda would have. A day later, Becky, sporting a big old shiner, withdrew from the Rousey match and announced Charlotte Flair as her replacement. A happy ending then, since Becky and Charlotte remain.
Alright, that was 10 injuries that ruined WWE pay-per-view plans. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming, stay tuned, and yeah, Uriah out.